surround yourself with good people, right? Find your tribe. When you find your tribe, start redefining your purpose and evolving yourself constantly. So people are like, oh my God, it's amazing. You wrote a book, man. You made it. My brain doesn't comprehend the idea of making anything ever. One of my employees, Dee Dee, and she said, so I just want you to take a moment and just reflect on this thing, on this accomplishment. You talked about this years ago. And I was like, I already did that. She's like, when did you do it? I was like, I did it this morning when I was drinking coffee. Yeah. You have to constantly redefine, and that's what keeps you evolved.
When I was a young man, like that book, The Book of Five Rings, was like essentially my guidebook for life.
What is that about?
It's a book of strategy by this man, Miyamoto Musashi. And Miyamoto Musashi was a Ronin who killed 60 men in one-on-one combat. My whole right sleeve is Miyamoto Musashi. The thing that I really gravitated towards was this one book because of the history of this man and the way that he speaks. And he has this quote that I use all the time, and if you've heard it before, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it again. Once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things. But it's understanding that to get great at something, to really understand something, it requires this intensive observation of what the thing is, what your flaws are, what your strengths are, and approach it in this very balanced way. And if you can do that, if you could really know the way, you could apply that to everything you do, whether it's learning how to play guitar or chess or anything.
I don't look at failure as failure. I look at failure as your first, second, third, fourth, fifth attempt. I look at them as attempts. I don't look at anything as failure. Because when you're willing to try to do something, not trying is failure. That's not some after school special shit. But when you're able to go out there is no failure. It's attempts. Because when you're trying to do something that's bigger than you, whatever you are, whoever you are, if you're paralyzed, you're trying to walk one step and you didn't fail, motherfucker. That was your first attempt. If that's your biggest thing, that's how your mindset needs to go into everything. So I don't look at it as failure is a big word like that gets people down and shit. We give so much power to words. I don't. I take the power right away. I didn't fail shit.
The only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time, it's hell. It's hell. You're selling insurance or some other shit that you care zero about. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan, and you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. Whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. That's most people don't have those things.
A lot of people say, oh, I just want to sort of, they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves. And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the fuck you want and then go after it. What I tell people is live your life like you're the hero in your movie. And right now is when the fucking movie starts and your life is a shitbag disaster. Pretend that's you. Pretend you are, right now, you're in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a fucking loser. And just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. I love a success story. But even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. And the way to do that, you gotta write shit down. You gotta think that you are the hero in your own fucking movie, and then you gotta sit down and you gotta write shit down. Write down what you need to do.
And one of the big ones is eliminating interactions with people that are negative. That is gigantic. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks and accomplishments, and through those things and through doing things that are hard to do, even if it's just a fucking 90-minute hot yoga class, through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better fucking do it again tomorrow or do something else. Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just going to coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. You're a fucking human. You're a human being. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. Camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning. All those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person.
I would like young men to understand if they're struggling, if they're having a hard time, they should know that what they're going through today is the thing that they're probably going to talk on a podcast about when they become successful. And it's so true, man, because it's like, I've never watched a movie worth watching where the main character didn't go through a down period. And when I think about myself building my business and how many times I was on the brink of failure, or how many times I lost money, or how many times that I just didn't think I had what it took because I was just getting hit so hard in so many directions, the 38-year-old version looks at the 28-year-old version and like, and one, son, I am proud of you, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
You're not going to feel perfect every day, and that you have to sit down, you have to overcome resistance, and that the pro goes to work. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, it doesn't matter if you have kids, you're a pro and you go to work. It puts it in your head that this is what I do, and you have pride in that. And then when you are in front of that keyboard, you're doing the work. Yeah. And to really develop your potential 100% in anything, get obsessed with life improvement. Find things that you enjoy doing that are difficult, do them and get better at it. It seems so simplistic. It seems like a ridiculous, idealistic point of view, but it's effective. Well, you need some amount of pride and some amount of ego to get good at things in the first place, because it's such a counterintuitive notion, because you have to have a belief in yourself. People are just dying on the inside, having to pretend to be someone they're not all day long, this fake way of thinking. Everybody's got to subscribe to whatever ridiculous policies their company wants to enforce, and you're just a robot. You get out of there and you just want to scream. Because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend.
No, I quit drinking.
I quit too.
When?
A month ago.
I knew that you weren't drinking.
Yeah,
but I didn't know.
Stop drinking.
I didn't know that it was a.
Yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah. For no reason other than it's not good for you. I didn't have to. I enjoyed it. But the days after drinking were just too rough. And I'm like, what kind of a moron who takes so good care of his body is poisoning himself a couple of days a week for fun? Why am I doing that? And then I'm like, well, will I have the same amount of fun if I don't poison myself? Turns out, yes.
Exactly. Right.
I mean, I just always think how lucky we are to grow up. There's times when I guess we could have cussed where we grew up because of the circumstances. But man, we're so lucky because look at all that we learned and had to overcome. And that's a big part of why I'm where I'm at now. And, I would guess why you're where you're at is all those challenges made us